Hi, Judith Reedy here at the Creative Zone, and I am delighted to be back today to do our second demo on the first snow, which was a winter scene, but in autumn, believe it or not. So you have a little bit of color, but mostly snow. So I was really fascinated with the image and the idea, and I've been showing you how I developed the underpainting, and now I'm going to talk to you about my color scheme that I'm using and how I match my color scheme colors with the values. And so today that's what we're going to be doing. But before we begin, I want to ask you to please subscribe, like, or follow depending on what platform you're watching me on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Please do that, and then you will not miss any of the developments in these demos, paintings that I do. So as you can see a little bit here of our winter paintings that we did, and the one that I am actually showing is currently at the Anderson Arts Center in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It was of the two paintings I entered, it was one of the paintings, and the other painting was the previous week that I entered, both of which are currently available to be seen in person at the Anderson Arts Center in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Beautiful site right on the lake. I was honored to be invited to that show and to have both of my pieces in that show. Actually, last year I had on one of the awards, and I had my own solo show this past summer called Scenes of Absence and Emblems of Rebirth. It was kind of a combination of those two concepts. So anyway, today we're going to be looking at the first, painting I call the first snow, which you can't see here, but I will show you in just a moment here. So remember to like or follow me. Let's see, here we're going to look at, see now whenever I have a painting, I have an idea, and under the idea concept you can see I have a photograph. I was on my way to an appointment and I saw this scene and I said, oh my gosh, I can't stay here and paint, but I could catch it in a photograph. So that's what I did. And then I changed to grayscale, as you can see in step 2. Then I painted the grayscale, which you saw last week. And now I'm thinking about how am I going to mix the colors to match the values. I have a method that I show you above here. You can see the grayscale, Munsell grayscale, and I place the colors on there. But today I'm going to do it a little different and differently, and you'll see how, which I think is also a very effective way of doing this. Now, the other thing I'm going to tell you, then the final thing will be when we finish the painting next week. So today we're going to just talk a lot about just what kind of colors, how we go about mixing them, how we get them to match, what we're interested in. So I think you're going to like this. So let's look at this. Now, part of this is going to be pre-recorded, and the other part I'm going to be talking over live. So I hope you can follow along, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will get back to them. I probably won't do it now during this presentation, but I will answer your questions if you have any. So let's go and look at this image. As you can see, it's pretty much the same. This is the grayscale image that I painted, the underpainting, and I have in the background here the image on my iPad, and I'm working from that, but I'm really mixing my own colors, and you're going to see in this demo how I'm going to do that. So first I'm going to be talking, and then I'll be joining you live. To you a little bit about this painting. It's a high key painting. Now what do I mean by high key? I mean, and I'm going to show you that with my palette, and I'm going to be talking to you about a high key painting. So here we go. We're going to go back over here. Sorry. And I'm going to talk to you about this high key painting. Now, you can see here I have my palette, and I have actually covered this with glass. This is not normally the way I work. Normally, I work right on the painting, and I have a piece of plastic, but this I thought would make it a little easier for us to check and match. I have here different grays that I used from Golden to do this maybe I should do it this way. We have golden, and we have different colors here. And what I want to talk to you about is each of these has a value. And I'm going to, and that matches the values in here. And I don't generally do that, I mix my own, but I wanted to do this because I wanted to be as scientific as possible. So, first value we had was an 8. Now with muscles, the higher the number, the lighter the value. So this was the gray. Then we had, after this we had 6. And then we had this is 5. And this is 4. And this is Mars Black, which I'm going to consider to be 1. Okay, so it's my darkest dark. Now, in this painting, you'll notice that plus there's white, okay, and I didn't show white. I didn't put white here, but that's one. That will be a 10 plus. When I lay these down, I'm going to let you see them all. That is the number 8. This is number 6 value. Somewhere in between there, I think they're grayscales. I think the 6 is pretty close to evil. And then we have, these are all neutral grays. They're not warm grays or cool grays or anything like that. And then we have our Mars Black. So that's the Mars Black. And as you can see, the Mars Black. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the colors. Now, in the original scene here, we had a blue, and it was very, very warm blue. And but it was very light, and warm blue, to my thinking, is phthalo because it's closest to yellow. And so I'm going to, on this end here,
That's phthalo blue.
And that's my white. You can see I added white. Now phthalo blue is extremely powerful, so you have to be very careful when you add it to anything because it will take over the color. So the nice thing about it is you only need small amounts, so it works out really well that way. Now you can see the two images. Excuse me. I have kind of a blow up of the original image here. That I want you to see that I'm working with. And so I'm going to be starting with that blue in the sky. And just testing different values to see how they match up. Now, one of the ways of doing that is using squinting. You squint. You can also remove the value and turn it to grayscale, which is pretty fun. Now, the lower area has some blue in it because it's reflecting the sky, but it's totally less intense. It's and then of course the sky as it drops down to the horizon becomes lighter. So that's some of the images, the way we're going to mix the color for that. But the area that I'm most interested in here, excuse me, I'm going to have to get something here. Let's go back. We're going to get rid of those other images. And now you can see I'm mixing the colors. Now, I'm going to be having different values of blue. And I want to make it more of like the 5, which is a little bit darker. I want to neutralize it on the surface because part of it is in the shadows, and I want it to not be the area where I want the eye to be drawn to. So now I'm showing you how I'm mixing the various blues. And I just add little bits of the blue at a time. Now I want to have, that is Cad Red Light and Alizarin Crimson, which I'm going to use. The Cad Red Light is almost like an orange, a very warm red, and it's this warmer red is almost a complement of the blue, and so that is going to even reduce the value of this the hue of this blue. So I keep kind of adding some of this red, Cad Red Light to this blue, trying to get it a little bit darker. And just seeing all the different types of blues I can kind of work with. I'm pretty happy with that blue. Now I'm mixing another blue. Another neutralized blue, because I'm adding the 5 from the values. And I got another blue, it's a little less intense. So I don't want to just put in a blank color, but they're all pretty close to each other. And that will make the area a little more interesting if I have a variety of slightly warmer and cooler blues, but in the same value range. So, or similar value range. Now I'm going to be mixing some greens, or some, excuse me, first I'm going to be mixing the yellows in the area of the scene wherever I see that I have yellow. It's yellow, a creamy white yellow. And that's some of the yellow where I'm going to have it in the, just testing the value, squinting, it's almost matching, so I know that I've got the right value. If you look at the scene, you can see that yellow, touch of yellow in there. And that is really going to give you what you need in terms of some of the focal area, which is going to have this. So I have that color in there. And now we're going to mix some really darks, some of the darker areas. There's some browns here and there that are in the darker. Now I need also, I think I would like a more of a purple. So I see some purple in that, in the shadows of the trees. This tree is backlit, but it still has some light coming through it. So but I'm mixing the greens for that are in the pines and some of the other. But I think I want to neutralize it a little bit more, and I want it to be darker, so I'm adding a 4. I also want to add, I had some Mars Black that I had in there, so we're just creating the variations we have with that green. And because I do want it, and I also want it to be less intense. And then I also want to make some light values of that. And you'll see that I'm getting almost all the basic values I'm going to need for this entire painting, and I think I'll be ready to paint next time. So I mixed a lot of variations of blue, of greens, of a little browns, some yellow variations, and all of that I have ready to go so that the next time I do this whole painting, I've got all my values, all the colors I need. I may tweak them a little bit, but I've got a good start, and I won't be, and they're really nailing the value that it should be. So I think you'll find this interesting. If you want to know more about how to go about doing a landscape painting, I suggest you take a look at Intermediate Color Principles and discover how value and color create this illusion of space, you know, and shape and shapes of things. And we do that in Color Principles, and it's really the second full-fledged course. It's big, and it has so many activities and so many paintings that you will be making along with me. And I know you're going to learn about that illusion, that tricky nature of color, and it'll be exciting for you. So take a look at the notes below, and you'll see a link that will take you and describe the full benefits of that course. And also, for those of you who are in Color Principles, Color Foundations, I want you to know I have a new unit in which you're going to be mixing all kinds of color, and I think you'll really, really like it. It's going to be very, very interesting because you're going to have some basic flowers, and you're going to see how you can alter the hue and keep the relative relationships of the values and create a whole nother flower, a pink one, a blue one, an orange one, all kinds of, and it'll show you how, by sticking with those values and then keeping the relationships set up, and I'll show you how to do that, you'll be able to make a variety of flowers very, very easily. And lastly, for those of you who, you think, oh, mixing those colors, well, I have a course on color mixing called 7 Essential Simple Tricks. It's a short course, and a very basic introduction. I think you'll really like it. It will give you a suggested a warm and cool of each primary. It will tell you which primary to select if you want an intense secondary, and which ones to pick if you want a less intense secondary to mix. Then also I will show you how to use tints, tones, and shades, and how you vary those mixtures with tints, tones, and shades, and as well the colors complement, and all the rich colors and vibration you can make. And I'll explain a lot more about vibration and color, and I'm sure you're going to have a foundation that will simplify this for you so much. And you get all of that for intermediate color principles, both of which I really